Ladies and gentlemen, there are empty buildings all over America. And I remember even as a child seeing some of the empty buildings that would be around the city of Philadelphia. And when we would go into the city, you would always see the homeless people. And I remember even having this conversation with my mother. I was like, why can't they do something with the buildings and get these people off the street? And let's face it, America doesn't care about poor people. They never have and never will. So now they got this idea where they want to take empty office space and turn it into housing for the homeless. It's like, y'all should have done this a long time ago. Okay. So they said it is possible, but it has its difficulties. So ladies and gentlemen, homelessness is a growing problem. Now, buildings absolutely can be converted from a warehouse into apartments. Conversions have happened all the time. A company may leave, another company comes in and renovates the place, you know? So the conversions, if you really think about it, technically could be a win-win situation where you have barely used offices because, some companies do want you back in the office, and other companies, they're happy they don't have to pay the lease anymore. So, if you're in that kind of situation, of sure, they don't care if you work from home, they don't have to pay no lease at your house, so that really frees up probably millions of dollars that they didn't have to spend now. So converting offices into apartments, they're saying is easier said than done. And I really do believe that too. I'm sure there's a lot of work involved in doing the conversion. But hey, doesn't that put people to work? Just saying. That creates jobs right there if they were to convert these buildings into apartments everywhere. So while it's easy to imagine the process behind conversions, like adding walls and plumbing, and they said it could get complicated. So city centers are struggling to fill the gap left by commuters who now they don't come in the office, or you have a lot of people that only come into the office just a few days a week. They're not there every day. So these workers are patrons of downtown businesses and restaurants to dry cleaners. Without them, offices are desolate and businesses are shuttering. To save these downtown city areas, trying to turn unused office space into housing. San Francisco, they said, is a good example of a lot of building availability being all around the city. So all they have to do really is change the building code from a commercial space to residential. So in DC, the mayor is putting more money into tax relief programs for office conversions. Even in New York, where many companies have office vacancies becoming a problem, office vacancy in Manhattan rose 15%, according to real estate investment firm CBRE. The commute has crushed a lot of people's willingness to trudge into the office every day. Yeah, I knew that. Man, when the pandemic hit and they start allowing people to work from their homes, I knew right then and there it was going to be a struggle getting people back in the office, and it is. People are still fighting against it even to this very day. So buildings that are catering to people, making it excited to come back to office or easy to come back to the office are winning. Uh, as demand for other office buildings decrease, Hines is considering an office to apartment conversion project. The alderman said the company is an actively bidding on property. So, look like Hines is in the business of converting buildings. So, not too many rules and not enough incentive. So, converting an office building into a residential space, they said, is difficult, and that when the building is already has the right structure to work in, a lot of buildings don't. They are just simply too wide or have the wrong kind of windows, which makes conversion even more expensive. But politics may be a greater factor in the project's success. So, even as cities try to entice developers to turn office buildings into apartments, they've also put up obstacles. In New York, for example, strict zoning rules already impact which buildings, in some cases, how many floors can be converted into housing. Rezoning a property for residential use can be timely and costly. The alderman said approval also requires support from politicians who often add requirements for affordable housing a developer may be unable to afford. Right now, many developers in New York are adjusting the expiration of the state tax exemption for builders who include affordable housing in their projects. The exemption play a large role in multifamily housing construction in the city. So according to a study from NYU, 70% of multifamily properties built from 2010 to 2020 took advantage of the tax exemption. Alderman said he hopes that it is reinstated. Well, I mean, to me, it's really a shame when you go to the city and you just see so many office spaces just sitting there. And sometimes you can see it just walking past on the street where you see on the ground floor, that part of the office space is empty, you know? And I think America, in my opinion, threw up too many buildings. When I go in the city, and look at all these skyscrapers, was that really necessary? I just think it's too many. It makes the city too congested. It looks like a concrete jungle. It doesn't even look good or even flattering, in my opinion. So, I mean, it really is a good idea, you know? I wish they would have done this decades ago. I think it would have helped many people if over time a building can be converted from commercial to residential. I think you could have really got a lot of people off the streets by now. But y'all, you're going to have to tell me what you think about this video. I can imagine there's probably a lot of money in doing conversion. Those of you that are in construction, let me know. I'm just curious. I bet, these companies that are into doing that, I bet that is a multi-million-dollar industry, just converting buildings over. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.